Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Intent Medical Group podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Sammy Khalili. And if this is your first time back here, welcome. And for all those returning listeners, I'm so happy you're back here to join us again here today. I'm very excited for today's guest. I don't think I'll ever get as excited as I am right now for someone who I talk to all the time anyway. Everybody here has the privilege today to hear a wonderful conversation I'm going to have with Dr. Hassan Khalili, my own father, who has been a clinical psychologist in the community of St. John's, Newfoundland for over 40 years, I think probably about 45. And he's an author, and not just any kind of author. He is an author of one of the newest, best books for a new author in Canada in the last 2 years. He won several awards for that. And I am super excited to talk to you about a whole wealth of different topics with him. And this will be the beginning of a series of conversations I will have with my dad here on the podcast. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, I will be referring to him not as Dr. Hassan Khalili, because that sounds weird to me as his son. I've never done that my entire life. But I will be referring to him as Baba, which is what we call dad in Farsi. That's my father's from Iran. And often you'll hear me say Babajun, which means, yes, Dad, dear. That's what it typically means. So I look forward to having this conversation with you guys and everything that comes along with it. And I hope you learn a lot, as much as I've learned my entire life with him. Welcome, Baba. I'm so happy that you're here. I know we've been planning this for a long time. And this is like a normal conversation for us on a regular day anyway. But
I want to tell you something, because I told you before.
Uh-huh.
You know from our family history, I'm number 7 of 7 kids.
You are, yes, that's right.
And when I was 7 years old, my dad passed away. He was 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So I really didn't see much of daddy type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And when you were born, you were 4 or 5 months old.
Mm-hmm.
And I was holding you one day, and I look at your eyes and your face, and I say, oh boy, how much I love this boy. And I said to myself, nobody loved me as much when I was that boy. I promised myself that I'm gonna love me as much. So I grew up with you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not one of my sons. You're my best friend.
That's very true.
So
And I will say, this will be the only guest that I can think of that's going to make me cry.
I know,
But that's fine.
But one of the things that I for beginning to start, and I said it in my book as well. I love cream puff. Everybody knows that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so impressed by cream puff that there was a store in back my hometown home that they run by Haj Ali. His guy was absolutely king of cream puff.
Mm-hmm.
You've
talked to me numerous times about Haj Ali.
Because I still love his cream puff.
And for the record, I think he's probably dead now, I would imagine. I don't think he's...
sure, because he was much older then. Yeah. And the reason I'm saying that I want to introduce the concept of cream puff. So he was getting up after Muslim prayers in the early morning, go to a store, say 5 o'clock in the morning, and by 7, 8 o'clock, cream puff were ready. And I was one of the first customers to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever money I got, I took it, and it was then done. You can get cream puff for 1 cent.
Mm-hmm.
And then so the cream puff become inside of me a flower land. Some places I could go in as much as I can. And
so conceptually, you were creating a world for you.
Inside of myself.
Right. Because for you, cream puffs were a thing of joy.
Joy.
Yeah.
And that I added to it of all the touch, all the jokes, all the beautiful places I have seen, and all the people I love, all the experiences I have, all positive experiences. I expanded my cream puff world.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping every time I have a patient or somebody comes close to me, I teach them how to make cream puff world.
Mm-hmm.
I hope through this interview, I can tell you what type of thing need to be done to have a cream puff world.
Well, if there's anyone that can do it, I think it's for sure you. And that's why I felt it was so important that we have this conversation in front of others, but also multiple of these, because I think people can learn a lot from what I've learned from our conversations about things. When we have guests come into this, and you've seen many of these episodes,
Yeah, sure.
we often talk about first, especially if you're new to some of the audience, and many of the audience members know exactly who you are because I've talked about you, but I always ask, how did you get to the field that you're doing or getting into this line of work that you've always been? And I know the story very, very well, but I want you to walk us through, there's a huge journey here, right? You were living in Iran, and I mean, we can always talk about that because they've been in the news for the last several months. But, living in Iran, and eventually opportunities came, and you had a different plan set, and then things changed. And walk us through all of it. Like, how did you? And at some point, you said, I wanted to really help people because I really enjoy talking to them. How did that all come about?
Well, I didn't really know that I want to be a psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
I was trained to become engineer or a medical doctor because my grandfathers were doctors, and a lot of my oldest brother was doctor, and so all engineers, some type. So when I went to high school, high school it was divided into three major. One was mathematics, natural sciences, and literature. I went to mathematics, so I graduated with a mathematics degree in high school.
So that's interesting. So in back when you were growing up, you could subspecialize at that level.
Yeah. And then we had to get the entrance to the university, so I got accepted to teacher training college, university, to become a guidance counselor. And I got a scholarship. I went there. 4 years later, I started working. I was terrible. I was not good at with children. So I said, I better change my major. So I decided to, after military service, 2 years military service, I went to start helping with farm. Or, we have farms. And then I decided later that I'll go to U.S. to get an MBA, and I'll maybe go to import-export business. So 1975, I came to U.S., and I went to University Kansas, and you did
At Emporia State, yeah.
Emporia State University, got an MBA. 2 years later, the revolution happened.
Because your intent always was, at that moment, was to go back and use that MBA to begin. You said an import-export business, but I'm sure many other ventures you would have started at that time. Yeah,
and then revolution happened. I have to wait to see what happened. I got another master's degree in counseling, and finally got accepted at the University of Iowa for counseling and psychology. And I was hoping again I still go back home. Home. But home had changed. Something that totally changed, and I got married to your mom, and you came along, and then I started working.
And that's what happened, yeah.
And then when I started working in adult psychology, I realized that I'm really good at it. And I remember when I was a kid, all of my breaks were taken because I give appointment to people talk to me when I was in high school.
Anybody would talk to you?
Yeah, anybody. All family members. All over I didn't know that means psychology, but when I started working at adult psychology, I loved it, every piece of it.
And I think the biggest thing for you is that when you when you were that young, you already naturally were gifted not with talking, but with active listening.
Yes,
right.
True. Very true. Thank you very much for confidence.
Well, I mean, that's because that's the bulk of what you do,
but
right?
The same token, I had imagination. You remember I mentioned to you many times before in our farm in the summertime, we slept on the rooftop
Mm-hmm.
because it was 30, 40 degrees hot.
Now, for the Americans in the crowd, that usually means about 100 and 120 Fahrenheit. But yeah.
Yes, yeah, and but the sky was bright. We saw the stars, and I was 10 years old. I learned the Earth is round.
Mm-hmm.
And that night, when I was sleeping, I said, some other boy in the other side of the universe, looking at the same spot I'm looking at this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to meet him,
Mm-hmm.
and I did meet him, but many years later.
Mm-hmm.
So imagination it was another. Unfortunately or fortunately, what my issue was, I still imagine things, but mostly positively, not negatively. And I am good at flashing the negative thing out of my system faster.
Mm-hmm. Which is actually one of the concepts in your book that we'll talk about, I'm sure, at some point in this. So then through a bunch of series of circumstances, you ended up in all places, St. John's, Newfoundland, to begin a career in life, really.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
in many ways. I'm very grateful for that. But so you've been now there about 45 years,
41 years.
41 years, practicing as a community psychologist. And I always say this as a element of both bragging because I'm proud of you, but also because I have some of this in me too. You definitely have always seen and helped far more people than the average person who works in your discipline anywhere. To give people context, the average psychologist probably sees, any community psychologist will see between 4 to 5 patients a day at the most. Would that be accurate?
Correct.
You have consistently, since I've known you, seen 9 patients, so that's 9 hours straight of active listening and talking 5 days a week for, well, not 40 years,
years ago.
up to 35 years ago, or 35 years, I would say, at least, right? Would that be right?
Right.
So during that time, you gained a huge amount of just experience of listening to every type and version of things. And through that, would you say like you learned so much that you felt compelled that you had to put it down on paper?
I have 5 university degree, and I earned this much knowledge. But whatever I learned from my patient,
Mm-hmm.
their stories, what the purpose of life is, how they can be happy, and I learned how they are. Some of them how makes their life happier by their. So, whatever I learned with those hours of listening.
Mm-hmm.
And listening is a gift that not everybody have, unfortunately.
This is very true.
Yeah.
We see that a lot in everything.
But I found that I am better with adults, I call it adult, especially people over 25 years old, because, and then as I get older adult,
Mm-hmm.
the issues become more familiar. It made me interested to research more, to read more.
Mm-hmm. That makes complete sense.
Yeah.
But you've treated everything because as a community psychologist, you have dealt with. You're not even. You're not specific to just anxiety or depression or obsessive compulsive disorder or relationship issues or whatever it may be. You've done everything.
As a matter of fact, a couple of years ago, one of my older patients who has done a lot in his life,
Mm-hmm.
one day he was talking about the experience he had with bringing the body of Newfoundland soldier back from France.
Mm-hmm.
And while he was talking, he was a bit weepy.
He was weeping, yeah.
And I apologized for that. And I said to him, it's positive one, because you feel complete.
Mm-hmm.
For my age, I'm 78, and at that night I said to myself, am I complete?
Mm-hmm.
The whole concept of completeness, what it means. that night I found that I am not 100% complete. I'm probably 90% complete, but 90%. And it took me 6 or 7 weeks, 8 weeks searching, trying to understand it. Then I realized that is the reason I'm not complete is culture.
Mm-hmm.
I left one culture, gain another culture, but neither of them 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to do more cultural events, to feel complete. But I feel complete because compared to many people, I have done a lot of things, especially bucket list,
Mm-hmm.
which is the whole different topics
Mm-hmm.
by itself.
Absolutely. So I'm going to put a pin in the complete list because that's going to come part of setting up that whole cream puff space for anybody. And so I'm just going to plug, not shamelessly, because I'm proud of this, because we helped you with a lot of this too. So this is my father's book. It's called A Life Spent Listening. And if I can remember all the accolades it got, it was selected when you first released it in 2024?
No, 2022.
2022. It was selected as one of the top 39 new best books across Canada for people to read. And which was interesting because when we looked at all the titles, the majority of them had a very negative feel. Like, you know, they were talking about some tragedy, something else, or maybe it was a short story about something, whatever else. Yours was one of the few books that was very, very positive and trying to give people a very simple but useful toolkit to help with that. And I remember there were certain other events that happened that I said people would benefit from having read this book. A couple big celebrities, I said, well, they would benefit from actually taking a look at it. However, I won't get to that part. There's a lot of really great concepts in here that really are things we've talked about all throughout. But one of the ones that I wanted to kind of talk to you a bit more about in setting up this cream puff space for people is one that is commonly, at least at my age, I've been noticing with people that they're having trouble with. And it's the concept of friendship, but as it pertains to the concept of loneliness. And I think you have a whole chapter written about, let's see, where was it? A Friend Indeed. And that's kind of where you start the process of talking about this and how building relationships. I kind of wanted to talk to you about a little bit more about how if someone came to you and said, you know, they're having trouble making friends, or they've just moved to a place, and this was an endeavor for them that never came easily. What do you say to do to help them, to help understand friendship, what it is, and the kinds of friends people encounter?
The concept of friendship is very large and is not easy to talk about. But there is two steps to it. One is friendship with yourself, self-friendship, which is not self-centeredness of friendship, I call it.
Mm-hmm.
And friendship with the world, the other outside of you.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is more important than anything else because
friendship with oneself, like
yourself.
Yeah.
Because I believe there is a little guy inside of us, a little girl, a little boy inside of us who, and there is society create, upbringing experience create a critic inside of us.
Mm-hmm.
Some people call it pathological critic. You heard me saying, I call him Jack.
Mm-hmm.
So between Jack and the self, there is always which one winning.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding Jack is very important. I remember I'm changing some of the characters because of the confidentiality. Somebody who came to see me was maybe 50 years old, and he lived alone, get job at night so that you don't have to janitor at night, so you don't have to deal with anybody. When I look at the history, his parents were older when he had him.
Mm-hmm.
They was protective of him, and he created a very dangerous world outside. And if you do this, this happen to you, this happen to you, this happen to you. So he was very scared, and he was always leaving himself. And he had a big jack.
Mm-hmm.
He was gaining a lot of weight. He was very limited. He was single. It took me almost a year before he learned how to get rid of Jack.
And just to re-emphasize, Jack is
the negative voice.
The negative voice inside of him.
Yes, inside of him. And you're fat, you're ugly, you're stupid, you're whatever Jack was telling him, everything negative. There was a hill beside his house.
Mm-hmm.
He was 50 years old. He never up to the hill because Jack was telling him you're killing yourself. He never attempted anything. He because Jack was telling him.
Mm-hmm.
When he finally got the concept of Jack,
mm-hmm.
You could see the gradual change in him. He became active physically. He went 5-6 times toward the hill. As a matter of fact, when he got the top, he showed a finger to Jack.
Mm-hmm.
He got married. He have kids.
It's great.
Yeah. So the concept of self-empathy is very popular in psychology. You can name it differently, but you ask about friendship. But that's what I'm saying. The first one. So there's 3 concepts in self-empathy.
So before you get there, would you say then it's more important for you to have self-empathy for yourself before you could establish a good friendship later?
No, both.
Okay.
But the point is that people who don't have self-empathy, they see themselves with shame and guilt and whatever it is. They don't see themselves right. Even their friendship is a little bit not deep.
Right.
It's surface, but when self-empathy is exercised, so the 3 things in self-empathy. One is there's a kind voice inside of you is stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's stronger than Jack.
That's stronger than Jack.
Yeah.
But Jack always will be. I have Jack. You have Jack.
Jack is always there.
Jack.
And just for people, again, I'm going to reemphasize this because I don't want people to get lost. The negative voice inside you is what we are referring to as Jack.
Yeah.
But everybody has
the
one.
critic, whatever you call him, critic.
Yeah.
So is whether physically, whether how people see you, whether your profession, whether your income, whether your sexuality, whether your whatever format is, critic will be. We have baseball bat hit you on the head.
Mm-hmm.
So when the negative voice becomes stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Then you start understanding yourself. And the second part of self-empathy is humanity. Humanity means we are human. We have also faults. We are short, tall, black, white, whatever. And then third part of the self-empathy is mindfulness, that you know what's wrong with you, what's right with you, and you'll be able to manage it.
So let's go through those 3 again. First one.
If a kind voice inside of you.
You have a kind voice inside of you, and it's stronger than the negative.
Yes.
Right.
And you train yourself.
You train it.
And second one is humanity, that we are human. We all have certain...
Understand that.
For example, I when I was a kid, I have not accent, I have a southern problem. And I have still a hearing problem.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I understand it. That Jack cannot get a hold of me, hit me on the head with it.
Right.
I mean, because that's the way. For example, when I go places, first thing I say, I have hearing problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I transfer the responsibility to others and to speak louder.
Mm-hmm.
Not versus I'm very shameful of my. No, I have hearing problem.
Mm-hmm.
Jack cannot get me there.
Mm-hmm.
I have accent, so some people they don't talk because accent is negative. No, it's not gonna.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever is Jack gets you, what real, that's humanity. Real thing is short, tall, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And mindfulness is a learning process
Mm-hmm.
that you decide get this much upset or this much upset.
Mm-hmm.
You remember a couple of years ago, your uncle, my last brother, died,
Mm-hmm.
and I said to myself, no, I cannot be upset, not be upset, but how upset is up to me.
That's right.
10 feet upset, or only few inches upset.
Right. It's your choice. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you come friendship, when you for some of the things I explain to my clientele patient that this is first thing has to start. So in order to do that, so the cream puff board has to be developed.
Yep.
So you learn how to be positive. How you remember, be able how every day flush the toilet when something happened. When you are
Now,
hurt.
maybe we talk about this all the time about flushing the toilet, but it's not. We're not talking about physically flushing the toilet in the house. We're talking about flushing the emotional toilet.
Because people keep it. Negativity 5-6 times heavier than positivity. If I hear something negative versus something positive, I hear at the beginning. I hear with positive jokes and funny stuff. Things. Cream puff, versus war back home or pain in my stomach or I didn't pay my mortgage or whatever for negativity is. So we're learning to run the positive side of your. Don't live in bathroom all the time. Live in living room more.
Right.
But a lot of people live in bathroom.
You're right. Yeah, they do.
So that's first thing is.
And again, that's not people living literally in the bathroom, but emotionally they are living
because
constantly.
And there is for example, blaming. One of the worst things people do. Blame. I am upset because of him, because of her, because of the taxes, because of this. There is no reason to be upset. But upsetness, again, when you're mindful, upset you this much or this much.
Mm-hmm.
You are with you 24 hours, 7 days a week. One of the things I do is past 50 years I've been doing, I go to cemetery every month.
Mm-hmm.
For 5 minutes, I stay in front of any grave, and I said, in present, how I'm going to walk from here to there.
Mm-hmm.
With cream puff or a bag of shame and guilt and hurt.
Mm-hmm.
No. I flush the toilet every night.
It's a good exercise to do.
Yeah,
right?
but
so let's say you're an individual and relationships with individuals are challenging for you and you're trying to be better at them and you're trying to establish yourself to have the mindfulness that you need, to have the humanity that you need, and to increase the strength of your positive self.
Yeah.
And your positive self-image. What are some things that a person who struggles because you've heard this 1,000 times, even you might even hear it from me or any of our family. Sometimes we're like, I'm upset to your point, or I'm upset because of this reason. And how much you would always say how much you crank it up is really up to you. But what techniques can you do to help?
The friend comes in.
Right.
The person who's your friend also understand you. So you have somebody who can talk it out, be understood. But not somebody lecture you, correct you all the time. And one of the books I'm still reading about, I mentioned to you before, the David Brooke.
Mm-hmm.
He talks about two type of people,
Mm-hmm.
illuminators and diminishers.
Mm-hmm.
Eliminator are people who, with their words, with their position, with their behavior, lift you up. And diminisher is people who criticize you, side with Jack.
Right.
And so, if you have friend who is eliminators versus somebody who you know is a diminisher, I would suggest have less relationship with diminisher, and be eliminator yourself. If somebody tell you a problem, don't criticize him or her. Instead of listen carefully without jumping to conclusion. Active listening means that you'll be able to. I could be talk to you about anything. I'll be free to verbalize. And one of the things when you said flush a toilet is a matter of writing it, talking it, screaming it out, or but most people drink it up, drug it up, or they hold on and you have to be patient. What does it mean by be patient? It means swallow it. And it's worse because you inverse it instead of outburst it.
We'll come back to that concept in a second. I know that for me, my moment of flushing the toilet is either often when I talk with you, or the other time that I often do it is one of two places, and my kids have caught me in the middle of those moments, which is I'm in the car by myself and I'm having the conversation out loud to get it all out.
Yeah.
And then the second is in the shower, I'll have the conversation out loud. And that's where they catch
Whatever
me.
Format,
To which they ask me, who am I talking to?
as long as you know what you're doing, you agree with you. That,
Right.
This is riding is one of the talking, walking in the woods, swimming in the pool, taking shower, taking you do it through body as well. Not only from psychologically, you do it for body as well.
Right.
So learning how to flash it out. Well, jokingly speaking, I was given 20 years ago. I was given a workshop, and I was telling people flash the toilet, and I was doing this. And a couple of months later, I was in a Chinese restaurant. Somebody from the other side. So whatever the concept is, whatever when you name that flushing toilet or dumping it out or something, most of the literature says people carry a lot of load of guilt and shame and hurts and anger and whatever. If you want to be healthy, you need to identify them. And sometimes to listen to carefully what little boy, little girl is saying to you. When little boy and little girl is are happy because the adult side of protect you, they love you're less vulnerable to depression, anxiety, all the other form of.
Which is great. Which is something that people need in general in life, not just right now, but always have needed.
There was, I know it's relevant to whatever you said. There's a chapter of book I said in my book about the friendship that couple have. And the best friendship when the relationship is the garden, the four of them, the little boy, little girl, the adult side of them, love each other. Not only adult side are a friend, and they criticize the children.
But the adult version of the couple and the child version of the couple are both.
I'll give you an example, which I mentioned in the book. Many years ago, 30 years ago, a couple came to see me. They have five boys. 5 boys. The youngest one was 17. They were giving me a hard time. They came to consult me. Every question I asked, she answered. And after about half an hour, I turned to him. I said, I want you to answer this question. Simple question. I cannot remember the question was. He became like this.
Just very timid all of a sudden. And yeah.
She pulled the chair, hold his hand, told me, Dr. Kelly, you hurt my husband. I didn't do anything wrong. She did the right thing, because when the little boy timid,
she stepped in.
She stepped in. How many relationships are like that?
Probably not enough. Yeah.
Most of us say, "Oh, you should answer Dr. Khalili."
Yeah, that's right.
Don't be shy. Don't So the relationship that the person has with himself is understandable. Then with the others, is it that type of relationship? It's close to that type of relationship. Then you feel illuminated, because you know you're not alone in the world. And the friendship with good friend teach you different habits, boost you up, help you with the downtime. So, but finding those friends, you need to invest in them.
You do have to invest, yeah.
And going back what I said about friendship, Rumi, one of the Persian
famous Persian poets,
he had a Persian poem that he said he divided people to three group. He called in Farsi, he called it nani. It means bread friend. They are your friend because they need something from you. You benefit them. Friend with benefit. He said, help them, but don't count on them, because that's the type of friend they have. Then second one, he called it zabani, talking friend. You talk to when in baseball field, talk in work, and you talk in bar, and you talk in restaurant. They're talking friend, but can't go beyond that. Majority of friends are talking friends. And then we have soul friend, that they love you because who you are, not because of any condition. Love them back. Invest in them. And you know my soul friend. Whole friend. If you have soul friend, you have to treasure them.
And the reality is, for people conceptually, and you tell me if I'm wrong in this, most people don't have many soul friends. They're 1, 2, 3 in their entire life. Would that be accurate?
Yeah. Majority, that's enough.
That's it.
But you have, but there are all different type of friends, all valuable.
Yeah.
But the people who have soul friend, a bunch of soul friend, they experience less loneliness. Because Jack would get them, and there's nobody go, no place to go.
That's right.
Yeah, and so when you're a friend with yourself, you're 24 hours with you. You can and then helping this friendship. Nature also was doing it. Like, for example, walking in the woods and swimming and having mindfulness exercises, or whatever reading, music, playing music, listening to music, whatever, playing with flower, gardening, these type of things help with reduce loneliness, and volunteering, but not expecting too much.
You don't expect anything in return.
That's what that's the good friendship means.
That's right. If I were to kind of summarize so far what you're describing to people, for if they want to have good relationships, and I guess that's really what this conversation is about. It's about having good relationships, not just good friendships, but good relationships in general. Is you have to really be good to yourself first before you can really do that. But your friends definitely help you with that. Would that be accurate?
But remember, the difference between selfishness,
Mm-hmm.
self-centeredness, and self-kindness is different.
Mm-hmm.
Selfishness is you want it all for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But self-empathy or you understand other people as well, not only everything for you.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm not encouraging self-centeredness,
No.
and that's a whole different topic for itself,
Mm-hmm.
which is create personality disorders and all of that. And the meaning of depression and anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
which is common.
Yeah, about 30% of the population with at least
So
both.
what the person who's depressed, what he said to himself, I don't like you. I don't like me, basically. In his meaning of depression, they kill themselves because of it. They isolate themselves because
Mm-hmm.
meaning for anxiety, I don't trust you because something bad is going to happen in the future. You will not, I don't trust you to be able to handle it. The anxiety goes up.
Mm-hmm.
When you have self-empathy, when you learn, you understand yourself generally well, you know what's wrong with you, accept it, the weaknesses you have, the strengths you have. You know you well enough.
Mm-hmm.
You get help. You don't lie about it. You don't for example, I was scared of height.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not phobic. And I was jokingly, I said one time I was traveling from Toronto to London, and I was watching Cliffhanger. I was 37,000 feet up.
Right.
I was not scared of it, but I was watching Cliffhanger. I was scared of hanging from the cliff.
Which is kind of silly when you think about it, right? Yeah.
But it's okay to have that kind of thing. But as long as you know this is you, it's not doesn't really big.
Mm-hmm.
You don't major it. You acknowledge it. And you can help yourself.
I think this is a good place for us to kind of segue into maybe moving into a different topic. And we may do this as a separate way of inviting you back to come back on to the podcast again to talk about other topics, not just in the book, but in general that people want to know about. And I think, to your point, we could spend hours and hours and hours talking about all the little nitpicky things that people experience in their lives when encountering relationships and whatnot. But I think the concepts you just gave for how to establish a friendship, which I'm going to repeat them again because I've repeated them a couple of times now, those three things about self-empathy, which are making sure that your positive critic is much stronger than your negative critic.
Correct.
Making sure that you understand the humanity of yourself, your weaknesses, that you don't overinflate yourself to say that you are godly, you are just human like everybody else. And the third thing is that you're mindful of how you are, how you think, and how you...
And at the same token, you remember other people have difficulty as well.
Yes.
You have empathy for them too.
Mm-hmm. So I think those are really important things. The one question that always pops up, and we've talked about this before, is how do you manage knowing those three things for yourself when you're put in an environment where it's asking you to devoid yourself of that? So we see that, I'm sure you've seen it because you have an MBA. You see it a lot in business, right?
Yeah.
Business asks, business people ask to remove a lot of those things when they're making big decisions that do affect things that hit on those three empathetic topics. And I've always wondered how, one, you manage that. Let's say, because I mean, you've dealt with these professionals before who are executives who have done big things.
And being human,
Yeah.
you will experience this thing.
Yeah.
But you should not blame too much. You need to learn from it. The more you learn, the more you learn that this what you said is going to happen a lot of places. Some people are selfish. They have goals they're following.
Mm-hmm.
That should not interfere with you and you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you understand this does exist. and will exist. Some people will never change. Some thing never. But at the same time, you promise yourself, you do your best to be empathetic, being gentle, being kind to yourself, to others.
Mm-hmm.
You do your share.
Okay. Make sure that even you acknowledge that this is going to happen regardless.
Yeah.
But still be kind to yourself as well.
And be kind to others. But,
Yeah.
But you basically tell your brain how to think, how to.
Mm-hmm.
People who live next to airport,
Mm-hmm.
they don't hear the noise
That's right.
because people tell your brain, no, the noise is there. Don't process it. You hear it, brain wouldn't process it.
Right.
That's the reason you don't hear it. But you hear it, but it doesn't go anywhere.
Which is basically the actual method for managing ringing in the ears, tinnitus, which is your brain hears it but don't process it. That's right.
Don't process it. So many things like that, it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
Like TV and negative news, war, and up to you
Mm-hmm.
how to translate them.
Okay.
And so, especially if you have empathy for others people,
Mm-hmm.
you understand some of them who are upset. They are not managing it. Be helpful to them, not hit them on the head.
Right. That's right. Well, I think that's a good place for us to end this episode. Like I said before, I can't to say it's an honor to have you here. Like that's a given. It's a weird thing for me to even say to you because we'd have these conversations all the time. But I'm extremely happy that we are able to have this and share the conversation with everybody else so they can hear it too in the way that you and we normally talk like this anyway. So thank you so much for being here, Baba. I love you. And
I love you too, and thank you for inviting me.
We don't need excuses to hang out, that's for sure. But we'll hopefully see you on the next one very soon.
I hope so.
Thanks so much for tuning in to the podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Comment on anything that resonated with you here down below. Thanks again for tuning in.